Hey everybody. All right, so the last session we were talking about how we can move our kick drum around a little bit, right? We were going and, right? This week we're going to be moving around our snare drum a little bit. So the beat we're going to learn is this. So I know it sounds like a lot, and the snare drum sounds a little bit complicated. So whenever we try to learn a beat that sounds complicated to us, as drummers, we want to learn that in small chunks, right? We want to break it up into small parts, get the one part down, move on to the next, and then slowly start building up the whole beat. So within this song, we have two parts that we're going to look at. We got, and our second part, which is, okay? One more, actually. So part A is pretty easy for us, right? We learned last session how to play our eighth notes for kicks, right? We went 1 and 2, right? We got that. So that's part A. The second part is a little more complicated. It's going to go, so it's going to go hi-hat, snare, hi-hat, snare, not together, right? This is the first time. So if in our beat, we're playing straight eighth notes, right? So if I'm playing eighth notes on the hi-hat, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and there's two snare drums right there, right? That aren't with my hi-hat, that means I'm playing 16th notes. So I'm going 1 and 2 and right? Is the 16th note, right? 3, E, right? E is the 16th note. So we have 1 and 2 and 3, E, right? So the second part, instead of getting into all the technical mumbo jumbo right away, let's just learn how to do it with our limbs. So the second part is, so it's going to be hi-hat, snare, hi-hat, snare. And what I would do is just go really slow and go, get used to that. These are two limbs that really haven't done what we're doing right now. So go. Right? Get used to playing, right, left, between the hi-hat and the snare. Okay? So we go. All right? Once you feel comfortable with that, it'll be, so it'll be hi-hat, snare, and then hi-hat and bass. So. And then the next part is we're going to add a hi-hat and snare after the hi-hat bass. So it'll be. So separate, together. So right, left, go. All right. So it was hi-hat, snare, hi-hat and bass, hi-hat and snare, and then you end it with just the hi-hat by itself. So that's the end of 4. So, and that'll bring us back into the beginning of the beat. So, and once again, the way we count it is it goes 1 and, now we're gonna put it all together, right, with counting. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the bass drum, right, we got, to start out, we got 1 and 2, right? Then our second part is the hi-hat starts, right? And, 3, E, and. So that the next bass drum is going to be on the and of 3, right? And then 4 is going to be a normal 4, which is our hi-hat and snare. 4, and then and of 4 is going to be our normal and, which is going to be a hi-hat. And then we go back to the 1. So it'll be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, I know it sounds like a lot. So once again, go really slow and you'll go 1 and 2, right? That's a part A. And then part B is, right? And if you ever feel like you're not getting one of the parts, go slow and just practice the one part, right? So, right? And maybe deconstruct it going back to the very beginning of it. So like for the second part where we go, if that feels clunky and you're not playing it smooth, just start with the hi-hat and snare separate. Go, right? And then build it. And then once you feel comfortable with playing that beat, then put it in with part A again. So you go part A, right? 1 and 2, and then part B. right? And it's okay in the beginning if it freezes for a second, but once you get both parts down, you got to figure out how to smooth out the transition, where that hi-hat's not going to stop. So it's going to be. I messed up. There we go. Okay? And the big thing, once you hit that hi-hat and snare on 4, all you need to do to get it back to the 1 is put a hi-hat by itself, right? So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, right? And that hi-hat right after the snare is what's going to transition you back into 1. And when you learn beats, the way it oftentimes goes is you don't get it at all. You get a little bit of it. Oh, you start to get more of it. Oh, you played it completely correctly, but sloppily, right? Then you smoothed it out, but then you messed up the loop. Looping is when we end the beat and then start over the beat while playing it smoothly. And then you might get a little bit of the loop, but then you mess it up on the second time. That's okay, that's natural. So the big thing is when you make a mistake, just stop, reset. Once again, you don't want to make any bad habits. You don't want to be getting bad muscle memory of the wrong beat. And then reset, and then just keep, each time you play it, it's like working out or whatever, right? The further you go, the easier it will be the next time to get there. Okay? So great job. Once again, in conclusion, the beat we learned is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So what this did is we had a bass drum doing some 8th notes. We had some 16th note snare drums being used in different places, right? And this will really help us to be kind of making some even more cool, complex beats in the future. All right, great job. I'll see you in the next lesson.